Hi everyone, Mr. Hunter back here with Drawing 3D Forms Part 2. And we're going to be looking at how to use a ruler when doing these drawings. So it's a little different, and you have to be a little more cautious in trying to match up the lines. It can really show because with using a ruler, it will emphasize those lines. It cleans it up though. If you do it right, it will make the image look really nice. And if you look back, I did those other shapes, I should say forms. They are made up of shapes. And I'm just going to start off freehand here, just to kind of get that square down to get started. And I'll switch over to a ruler. So I'm just trying to get my first square down. It's kind of like a reference point for me, the way I do my drawing. Now I'm going to use a ruler for the rest of it. Now often the first lines you make, if you're using it like freehand, I like to go back and forth over my line. So it makes the line look a little thicker, but I do it very lightly. And every time I strike the page with my pencil, it's making the line darker. So in the end, it looks darker, but I didn't press hard to get that. It was very light. Really important fact to remember. When you draw, you should draw lightly and just keep going over the lines to get them darker. If you press hard right away, it's way harder to erase or adjust those lines. You kind of commit to it and it scratches the page and you can't get rid of those lines. You probably experience that if you try to erase something, it won't go away. So I'm just going to use the ruler to match up the lines. I did my first square and I'm doing my second square in behind, and I'm connecting the lines to the corners. The next one here, I'm going to use the ruler, and I'm using the ruler based on trying to make each side equal. And as I draw these lines, I'm trying to make it what's called perpendicular. Those lines in the corner, a 90-degree angle, it's perpendicular to the other line. So you get that right angle in the corner, so it looks like a square. And I'm using those little lines to match up with the existing line. So that way it looks like it's perpendicular. It means it's like making that T formation. So I'm going to draw the second square, and the second square is going to be the same width. I'm using the inches on the ruler. I should probably switch it over to the centimeters, but I'm just used to using it that way. So I'm doing a 1/2 inch square. It's the imperial system, of course, the American system, but I should be using the metric system. It's always good to try to stick with that. But it's on the ruler, and I'm just matching up, got my square, and I'm going to do the next step, which is connecting those vertices, the corners. So we'll just match up the lines. I like to do the outsides first, and then you can do the insides. Just make sure you match them up. And it's good to put your dot in there, and then you know where you start your pencil, and you can target into the corner. So there you have it. There's 2 cubes, and you can see how the second one's much more accurate. That's the time you take with the ruler. It's good skills to develop. And with my freehand, it's a little sloppier, but it's a thicker line. Just like those other ones, you can see they're thicker lines. They stand out. But that cube, the last one I did, it's a lot cleaner line. It's not being repeatedly drawn over like I tend to sketch with. I'm going to do a triangular prism here. So just using the ruler, I'm doing them at 1 inch wide, or the sides are 1 inch long. And if I was being really accurate, I'd use a protractor to measure those angles so they're all equal. But at this time, I'm just trying to get a quick one drawn, and I'm trying to match it up just visually. So you're thinking about the proportion of the line to try to match it off. And each side is going to be 1 inch long. And let's get the baseline here for this shape of the triangle. And I like to put little dots there, just kind of gives yourself a little target to go to. And of course, I'm going to do the outside lines. I'll start at the top here. And if you line it up, you can get your dot there and target. Nice straight line. Again, target, connect, and then the inside line. And there is a triangular prism. And you can shade it in, just like I've done in the previous video, and shade in the end to make it look a little more solid. And it kind of creates an illusion, of course, that I like to think the white part of the shape is the bottom, but you can look at it differently and see that as the part I just shaded as the bottom. So depending on how you look at it, it's a bit of an illusion which way is the prism. All right, now it's your turn. You should give it a try. Good luck.